Have you ever felt your chest tighten, your stomach knot, your mind spin over something that, in the end, meant nothing? A message left on read, a glance that felt like judgment, a single sentence from someone's mouth that replayed in your head for hours, rewinding, analyzing, poisoning everything it touched. You know that feeling. Everyone does. But here is the question nobody asks. Asterisk, why do you give it that power? Asterisk, Carl Jung once wrote asterisk, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Asterisk read that again, because that one sentence is the key to everything. Every time you've lost a day to someone's careless words, every time a stranger's attitude hijacked your morning, every time you lay awake replaying a conversation that wasn't the world controlling you, that was your own unconscious, running on autopilot, pulling strings you didn't even know existed. And here is the truth that changes everything. Those strings can be cut. Let me take you back to a specific morning in my life. I was running late, mind full. A stranger on a crowded street bumped into me, barely glanced back, kept walking. Instantly, heat rose in my chest. Irritation, the beginning of a ruined morning. But something stopped me. Instead of following that anger, I watched it. I noticed the tightness in my chest, the way my jaw had clenched. The story my mind was already building. Asterisk, rude, inconsiderate. People have no respect. Asterisk, and then I saw it clearly for what it was, not reality. Asterisk reaction, asterisk. A learned pattern. A neural pathway carved by years of conditioning, firing automatically, demanding I surrender my morning to a stranger who had already forgotten I existed. I breathed. I let it pass. That moment cost me nothing, hour, but it gave me everything. Because in that pause, I understood something Jung spent a lifetime trying to teach us. Asterisk, no event has power over you unless you grant it. Asterisk, the world didn't change, my mind did, and that changed everything. Here is what most people never understand about the human mind. From the moment you were born, you were trained to react. Someone smiled, you felt warmth. Someone frowned, you felt tension. Praise carved one pathway. Criticism carved another. By the time you became an adult, your emotional responses were largely automatic, predictable, habitual, and dangerously easy to trigger. You believe you are responding to the world. You are not. You are responding to your asterisk interpretation asterisk of the world. And your interpretations were written long ago, by experiences you barely remember, by patterns you never consciously chose. This is what Jung meant by the unconscious running your life. You think you are steering. You are not. Most of the time, you are a passenger watching the wheel turn, believing it is your hands. The question is, when do you decide to actually drive? Consider two people. Same moment, same insult, same words, same tone, same public humiliation. One person burns for days, replays every word, feels smaller, pulls back, lets one moment rewrite their story. The other person pauses, observes the sting, asks one honest question. Asterisk, does this deserve my energy? Asterisk decides no, moves forward, intact, same event, two entirely different realities. The difference is not strength, not indifference, not coldness. The difference is asterisk consciousness asterisk. One person reacted, the other chose. That is the entire distance between a life spent in reactive suffering and a life of unshakable inner freedom. One pause, one question, one conscious choice, repeated until it becomes natural. Now here is where most people misunderstand Jung and why so many self-help scripts get this wrong. Becoming untouchable is asterisk not asterisk about building walls. It is not about suppressing what you feel or pretending the world cannot reach you. That is not strength, that is avoidance, and it always breaks eventually. Jung called the real process asterisk individuation asterisk, the journey toward a self that is whole, not defended, but integrated. You do not become untouchable by feeling less. You become untouchable by asterisk understanding more asterisk about yourself, about your patterns, about the shadow you carry. Your shadow is everything you have refused to look at. The anger you call justified. The fear you call caution. The insecurity driving your defensiveness that you have labeled standards. These unconscious fragments are the strings, and as long as they remain unseen, they will be pulled by every person who knows where to find them. Integration means looking directly at these parts, naming them, owning them, not as weaknesses but as information. Because the moment you see a pattern clearly, it loses its automatic grip on you. It can no longer operate in the dark. This is shadow work, and it is not comfortable, but it is the only path to genuine freedom. So how does this look in real life? I was once in a meeting, ideas on the table, criticism in the air, colleagues pushing back, tone sharp, words designed to cut. The old version of me would have defended immediately, justified, rationalized, felt the flush of humiliation, and called it conviction. But instead, I paused. I felt the tension rise in my chest. I noticed the heat on my face. And I asked myself one question, asterisk, is this about my worth or is this about their discomfort with something that challenges them? Asterisk, Jung's concept of projection answered it instantly. People do not attack what they don't care about. Criticism, especially emotionally charged criticism, is almost always a mirror of the critic's own unresolved conflict. Their anger belongs to them. Their judgment belongs to them. I had no obligation to absorb it, so I breathed. I listened without defense. I responded only where substance existed calmly, clearly, without ego. The meeting ended not in conflict but in respect, and inside I felt untouchable, not because the world had been kind, but because I had remained sovereign over my own mind. Here is the practice, simple, powerful, and permanent when applied consistently. The pause. This is everything. Every time a stimulus arrives, a harsh word, a failed plan, an ignored message, an unexpected setback, before you react, you pause. Even 1 second. In that second, your conscious mind has the chance to intervene before the unconscious takes over. In that pause, you observe. Notice the sensation in your body, the tightening, the heat, the weight. These are signals, not commands. You are not required to act on them. Then you ask, asterisk, does this deserve my energy? Will this reaction serve my life or drain it? Asterisk, most of the time the answer is no. Most reactions are habit, not choice. And every time you choose observation over automatic reaction, you reclaim a piece of mental territory that was previously surrendered without your knowledge. Over days, weeks, months, this compounds. The nervous system learns. What once triggered an emotional storm becomes a passing weather event, noticed and released. Emotional immunity is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in the small ones, repeated until the architecture of your response changes permanently. There is one final piece, and it may be the most powerful of all: the narrative. Most human suffering does not come from events. It comes from the asterisk story told about events, asterisk. Someone doesn't respond to your message, and your mind writes a novel about rejection. A plan falls apart, and your mind scribes a chapter about failure and unworthiness. A relationship ends, and your mind decides it is evidence of something broken inside you. These stories are not truth. They are interpretations, and you are their author. Every time you catch the narrative forming the spiral beginning, the meaning being assigned, you can stop. You can interrogate it. Ask, asterisk, is this story true? Is it useful? Does it serve the life I am building? Asterisk, if it does not, rewrite it consciously, deliberately, not with false positivity, but with accurate perspective. Because the mind that controls its narrative controls its reality, and the mind that controls its reality is free. Here is what that freedom actually feels like. The storm does not stop. Life does not become easier. People do not become kinder. The world does not pause its chaos out of respect for your growth. But you change. You move through the same world, the same provocations, the same uncertainty, the same human unpredictability, and you remain intact. Not cold, not distant, fully present, fully feeling, fully engaged, but sovereign, unowned, untouchable, not because nothing reaches you, but because nothing asterisk controls asterisk you without your consent. This is Jung's vision, realized not in retreat from the world, but in conscious, emotionally integrated engagement with it. The shadow integrated, the patterns seen, the unconscious made conscious, the strings, one by one, cut. And in that stillness, something profound emerges. clarity, resilience, a quiet joy that does not depend on circumstances, a sense of agency so complete that the question of who controls your inner world has only one answer. You do. You always did. You simply had to wake up to it.